Hi, everybody. Welcome to our session here about finding best talent. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Anthony Morris, and I lead the account management team here at Interfolio. And introducing Robert Jan.
Thank you, Robert Jan Kalf. I'm the head of SciVal, based in Amsterdam. I'm very happy to be here.
And Rohan Thakur.
Hey everyone, Rohan Thakur, Senior Product Manager on the product team for Interfolio. I oversee dossier, lifecycle management, and faculty search, and I'm based in Baltimore.
Very good. So today we're going to talk about current trends in faculty hiring and how the SciVal tool can enhance that process. And I was excited to participate in this session because in my role with account management, I've met many of your universities, and one of the questions that we get asked very often is, so what is the benefit of Elsevier working with Interfolio? And I think this is one of the really good synergies that is starting to come to light and come to table of using kind of analytic data to find and recruit new talent for your universities. Another thing that I've kind of noticed over the past few years, especially the past few months, is just the kind of weight that's been on higher education. And every session I go to, every conference I go to, people talk about like this is just a really hard time for universities. And as I thought about that, I realized that 2025, yes, it is a hard time for universities, but part of the reason it's such a hard time for universities is that it's one thing after the other for the past probably 10 years. I've been with Interfolio for 8 years, and so I started thinking about all the different dynamics and all the different conversations I've had over the years of how hard higher education is right now, and I sometimes don't even understand how you guys keep going. It feels like you're beat down sometimes. So I looked at this, and then as I was kind of reflecting on this, kind of these challenges that we're seeing in higher education, I started thinking back to some of my early days at Interfolio, and we used to have a slide that looked a lot like this called faculty first. When I first came to Interfolio, we had this mantra that everything we do is faculty first. And the question is, like, why is Interfolio such a faculty first, faculty-centric company? And the reason is that even today, faculty members are really the center of everything that happens at a university. They're the people who teach. They're the people who do research. They're the people who provide service. They're the people who provide extension throughout the state and throughout your communities. Without your faculty members there's really not a whole lot of point in having a university because there's nothing that's actually going to happen. So I started reflecting on, again, these years I've been with Interfolio and this faculty first mantra and thinking then the same stresses that you're feeling in whatever offices you have on campus, your faculty members are feeling those same stresses. Faculty members for the first time are leaving the academy. They're tenured faculty members saying, I don't want to do this anymore. For the first time in memory, PhDs who are graduating are choosing to go into the private sector because they don't see the draw that higher education once had of all the great work. We know that the grants reductions over the past few years are having an impact on your faculty members, and are they going to stay in the academy or are they going to go somewhere else? So this almost perfect storm of all the stressors that are happening in higher education, faculty members being stressed, sometimes shortages of fine qualified faculty candidates, really makes a perfect storm of like, how are we going to handle that? And how are we going to find the right talent for our university? But remembering that faculty members are the cornerstone of your university makes it really, really important to find the right people.
Thank you. So, SciVal is a tool that's used by academic leaders across the globe to take strategic research planning decisions with confidence. We compute research indicators using our Scopus database, the literature which covers our academic literature. When I submitted the slides, this slide was a 14-year-old slide. The branding police changed it so it's in sync with the branding. But the reason why I submitted a very old slide is because these rules are very important for us. Research metrics, when you use research metrics, always use them in combination with qualitative input. Peer review, right? And in most cases, peer review is leading and then the metrics can support. using the metrics, always take multiple metrics. Don't pick the metric which makes you look best and just stay with that single metric. So our customers use metrics, our global base use metrics in the recruitment use case as a conversation starter. And I'd like to show you an example case study how that works. So I took a research group from Oxford University. It's a research group of 20 researchers, and now indeed I have, because I want to explain what the research is about, the domain that they're active in, and I can't read it there and I can't read it there. It's about the advancements in perovskite solar cell technology, focusing on improving efficiency, stability, and performance through material and structural modifications. It's a multidisciplinary domain, and research happens very global with spikes in China and India. So the research group is active in several fields within that domain. And their strategy is they want to grow their presence in lead-free perovskite solar cells. At the moment, they have some presence there, but they'd like to expand. So using a tool like SciVal enables you to zoom out and then look at who are the experts in that field. Experts globally, experts in North America, and if you look at the second one, Edward, we provide research metrics about academic impact. So we have the field-weighted citation impact. We start with the scholarly publication, how much have people published. Then we have an indicator about academic impact using citations. It's an indicator that's field normalized, and the world average is 1. I selected also the top citation percentile, so the papers that are in the top 10 citation percentiles, and also international collaboration, because that's important for this research group. So this is a list with the experts in North America, and there's also a list with people from Europe. Now, this input you can use to create long lists that the recruitment committee will go through. It comes with details about the people, like the whole, I'll go back, like all the publications, additional metrics like this international collaboration, and more information about which are the universities that Marie Antoinette has collaborated with, and also the people that she has collaborated with. And you can see that she typically works in research groups with colleagues from the University of Groningen, which is where she's based, as well as international colleagues in these projects. So the recruitment committee decided on 6 names from that long list. And what I'm showing here is these 6 people and how they compare to the world average in this field, right? So at the top in the blue is the field of lead-free solar cell, and underneath are the 6 people. I believe I've added also an indicator about where these people have published. So are they able to publish in the top journals? As an extra example. The previous example was using metrics about academic impact. This example shows metrics about impact beyond academia. So what's the percentage of papers where people have collaborated with industry? What's the percentage of papers that have been cited by patents? What's the percentage of papers that have been cited by policy, to give an angle on societal and economic impact. Now, as an extra data point that can be used in conversations with the candidates, I did some modeling. So the top row is the research group as it is today at Oxford. And then there are 3 candidates that I've added into the group and then looked at what are the numbers telling us. And so this is with academic impact. And this is the same, but then with societal and economic impact. And you can see, for example, that it's a bit hard to read, Antoine, so that's the third row in the table, that Antoine collaborates a lot with corporates, and his publications are cited quite regularly in patents, whereas with Janfa it's more the policy citations, which indicates that he is able to influence policy, and that could be a topic to discuss when you're talking with the candidates. You've been quite successful in influencing policy. Can you elaborate on your plans to build on that even further? So hopefully this gave you a flavor how you can use data to get to long lists, to get information to go to short lists, and then do some modeling to identify opportunities to have a conversation with the candidates. Using metrics to start conversations in the recruitment process.
Thanks. So naturally, as we've had more conversations at Elsevier, we're trying to figure out exactly how we start to streamline this entire process. And as you're starting to see now, this is a very easy segue into faculty search. Raise your hand here if you have faculty search already. Cool. So you're probably already thinking of, I want to try to create a more rich pool, and that's something that we've been trying to work on for a bit now. We've heard from a lot of institutions that we create these positions, but sometimes we work in these silos, there's bias introduced, and we can't seem to get this like rich, deep pool of candidates that we wanted to get. And that's where we're starting to talk across the board of what kind of data can we begin to leverage in the larger ecosystem to empower a more rich data process. Which is why we wanted to kind of wrap this up to talk about what we can do to digitize the recruitment process a bit more with faculty search. So obviously, as you're talking about with more candidates, you're able to enable some more transparent communication across your committees. Obviously, you can set those permissions across departments to ensure that you're able to hit the right points across the board. You can set statuses, position application statuses, to ensure that there is clear data governance in your hiring process, and then it's matching to each respective department. And the biggest part is be able to centralize all those candidate materials all together. We've heard from a number of institutions that it's always difficult to track down all those pieces. Make sure your committees are all using the exact same documentation to make those decisions. So to provide greater equity, we want to ensure that those documents are in a centralized place where we can comment and review together. And then finally, there's tracking and reporting on that each stage of the process as well. You want to be able to see exactly how your positions are moving along, how your applicants are doing as well in the process to confirm what that looks like. So a few things that we do to ensure that there is a clear, equitable process in faculty search. One of the biggest areas is the ability to create these approval templates, and they're both on the position as well as the selection process, meaning that to get a position approved, it has to go by the powers that be at the institution to see the light of day. Same thing with our applicants that are coming through. We want to make sure that they're being reviewed by the proper individuals to make sure that they're going through those each respective proper steps. It's been incredibly insightful being at this conference because I'm hearing how we can further improve this process and make sure that there is more confidentiality going through that respective area. So thank you all for your feedback. But I want to make sure that I talk through exactly what those templates look like. So it's great because you're able to customize these by institution, by faculty type that is also customizable in your list as well to ensure that if I'm hiring this type of person, these respective people need to weigh in before I can move forward. So this way you're confirming exactly what need to be reality to be able to make a position live and open. The other part here is we want to make sure that there is guardrails in place before posting anything new. We want to confirm that those right folks are part of that process to ensure that that faculty position is approved and reviewed moving forward. The other part that's really great in here is just managing that faculty applicant list. So having that entire application screen that you can see all of your candidates in one location, see the centralized materials in one location, empowers your committee members to have the tools they need to be able to review a candidate with what they need to accomplish. I've listed out a few different features that you're seeing in that page here. But there's a lot of different tools to ensure that you're able to filter, get down to the right information that you may need, provide internal notes as well as external notes to your folks, or even just make your own annotations as you're viewing materials. But it's ensuring they're able to get the right pieces together to empower the process and ensure that you're reviewing applicants in a bit of equity as well. I also want to call out there's email functions in here as well if you need to communicate with the applicant. So if you ever need to communicate out to the applicant, you have message templates you can leverage. You can also begin to request materials on their behalf. So for example, if in your process you don't ask your applicants to send over request letters or recommendation letters at the very beginning, you can give that power to committee members to ensure that when it's time and they've gone far along in the process, you can go and recommend that letter for them and get that contact out there as well. So it's really great to have that point all together. I've seen a lot of good use cases for being able to add position status and application status to position as well. So this way you're able to ensure that whatever system happens to exist on your campus, you can track the progress of those applicants using those respective statuses. The statuses also have powers in the institution, saying the candidate can do this if this position status is applied, or the candidate can do this when this respective application process is applied. So we want to make sure that there's enough time to kind of talk about this concept. This is really the first time we're really bringing these ideas together. I know we've had our own brainstorming sessions of what a future integration of this could look like, but we're excited to at least start engaging here because as you all can pretty tell, there's a really clear line of thought that we could be moving towards in the future. So I think we have friends hanging out. Feel free to raise your hand for any questions you have.
One more slide too.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Do you want to take this?
Sure, I can take it.
Cool.
So I did want to kind of bring it all together at the end. One of the things that Robert Jan said in his presentation that really resonated was that faculty hiring, whether you're recruiting researchers or recruiting faculty members, should be a combination of data and peer review. So that's where we start to see the combination of SciVal data tool, analytics, with the faculty search committee process of doing the peer review. So that's kind of where we start to see it together. And again, acknowledging that it's a really hard time, using SciVal to increase your lists. SciVal is not going to automatically bring them into faculty search so you can recruit them, but it is going to give you a list of people that you may want to reach out to, identifying new talent outside of your department chair's normal circles of influence. But then after they apply and they have the SciVal data to kind of check and see what their research and economic impacts are, then using the peer review with your current faculty members, your search committees, to make sure that they're going to be a long-term cultural fit for your institution as well. And then that really wraps it up with the final step, which I think is really cool, is then the modeling that Robert Jan was talking about at Oxford, where they did was say, well, if we're going to have these three finalists, taking their hypothetical data or their real data from SciVal and adding them to our hypothetical department, what will that do to change the outcome and output of our department to see what would it look like for our university if we actually hired this person versus this person. And so with that, whether you're faculty search users or not faculty search users, we're kind of curious to see how this would work into your university as well. So now we can click one more time and go to the question slide.